Hello again. Today is February 18th. Today's President's Day, and it's the 35th day of the legislative session. So thanks for joining me again. Last week we had a busy week. Started hearing the budget in the Finance Committee. The crime bills are moving along. We have a busy week coming up this week right now. Today in Finance, we actually heard about the education budget proposal. Now, pretty high level, but regardless, it was a good presentation, lots of questions asked. Tomorrow, the subject will be health in the Finance Committee. The Fish and Game Department, Labor, etc., the rest of the week. Every single day, the Finance Committee is meeting. The Judiciary Committee has been hearing the crime reform bills last week. This coming week, in Judiciary, they're going to be hearing the sexual contact loophole bills. So this closes that loophole. You probably remember this very egregious case that occurred recently where the perpetrator actually got off with virtually no jail time. In any case, that bill is being heard in Judiciary twice this coming week. And then in State Affairs, they are hearing the sentencing bill and also the parole bill. So those crime bills are moving right along. Lots of good hearings on them. The Health Committee last week heard the work requirement for Medicaid recipients. We heard that on Friday. Going to hear it again this coming week. The Save the State Fair bill, offered by Senator Machicki, is being heard in Labor and Commerce. This would allow alcohol to be served in, it would provide for the service of alcohol in bowling alleys, state fairs, things like that. So it's kind of a correction bill that needs to take place. But the big subject, of course, is the budget. So just to kind of lay the groundwork for you, I know citizens are very concerned. They saw the budget bill, very concerned about it. The Senate is not making any knee-jerk judgments. We are going to hear the bill, we're going to examine it in detail, and we're going to take our time. Bad decisions are made when things are rushed, and we are resolved not to do that. This is far too important. So we're going to be taking our time. We're going to be listening to Alaskans who you will be giving us feedback on how the budget reductions affect you. We're very interested in that. We also have to face the reality. We have only $2 billion left in our savings account. It has been spent down over these years. Budget restraint was really the driving motivation when I first ran for the Senate, and that was back in 2009. I was watching the Senate spend money hand over fist on things that did not have long-term benefit for the state. We've now blown through, I think it's $14 billion from our savings, and we really don't have much to show for it. So what Alaskans heard during the gubernatorial election was we must reduce our spending to the amount of revenue coming in. In other words, for a family, we need to reduce our spending to what our income is. Same idea. That's what you see this governor implementing right now. This is what it looks like to have a budget that matches the amount of money coming in. People are shocked by this. They're shocked because all this time we've been living off the savings from very high oil prices. So now this is reality. It is not something that we can continue to hand off to the next year. We have to deal with it this year. We may not cross the finish line completely this year on reducing the spending, but we certainly need to by the end of the second year. We simply can't keep going like this. So we are concerned about the depth of the cuts and what other ways we might match what we're spending. There is a way to reorganize government that would save money. I know several ways. I've been sharing them with the administration. Senator Bishop knows several ways. Senator von Imhoff knows several ways. So all of us are inputting our ideas to the administration. The administration has proposed their ideas. We have the opportunity now, as the appropriators, to modify these things. So we want to hear from you. Clearly, some folks are saying, well, I don't care what you do. I just want my full dividend. I want my $3,000 check for every man, woman, and child in the state. And then you can institute a tax on the people that are making money, that are earning wages, and make up the difference there. Well, that's an interesting scenario. We'll see how that works out. I was here when the permanent fund was established, and I actually have the memo from Governor Hammond to Clem Tillion, who was the Senate president at the time. And Governor Hammond advocated that half of the earnings in the earnings reserve would go to the dividend. The other half would go to support infrastructure for the state. So we have that historic document, that viewpoint, which is really where we're at today. That permanent fund was intended to spin off earnings that would meet the needs at times just like this. There is a lot of alarmed messaging going on out there about the cuts. One of them that I'm hearing is that the university budget is being cut by 50%. That is absolutely not true. It is a 40% reduction, but the university is less than 50% funded by the state of Alaska to begin with. So what we're asking them to do is to do what other state universities do, other land-grant universities, and that is to tap into grants, to endowment funds, and the private sector. Most other universities, like the University of Alaska, are only funded about 25% by their state governments. Ours is around 40 to 47% by our state government. So there's room there for some adjustments by the university. The governor's proposal is suggesting that the smaller branches of the university actually become community colleges, which can better serve the students, the secondary education students of the state. So all these are ideas worth reviewing, and the Senate is going to take the time to review that. In this newsletter, you're going to find links to these Senate finance meetings. I invite you to watch the ones for the departments you're interested in. I know many of you are interested in the education budget. Listen to the hearing today. The documents are there also, so this is an opportunity for you to examine the same information that we see and to help us suggest ways that we can negotiate these issues and really reduce our spending. So thanks so much for watching. There's lots of stuff going on. I'll see you again next week.